Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Energetic Business Pulse podcast. My name is Dana Kovacic. I'm your host, and I'm here to help you build a thriving business around a life you love, not the other way around. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, that you're stuck on a hamster wheel, constantly moving but never moving forward? Or perhaps like your business is draining you instead of fueling your dreams. I've been there, and let me tell you, it doesn't have to be this way. Every Tuesday, I'll bring you inspiration, insights, and actionable strategies to help you align with the pulse of your business so that you can step into your power as a leader, build bold as fuck confidence, and create a life that gets you banked and balanced. Get ready, because the podcast starts now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Energetic Business Pulse podcast. I am your host, Dana Kovacic, and today we have the absolute honor of having a very special guest. This special guest is an energetic and sales trainer and has been working in the online space for over 5 years. She has trained and supported over 500 men and women and has been the head coach alongside multi-six-figure companies and supported multi-in-person events for multi-seven-figure companies. She has personally helped companies collectively make over $700,000 in under 12 months and is so passionate about awakening people in their infinite potential, energetics, and sales. Let's give a big welcome to Samirah Lundmark. Yay!
I love that. Thank you so much. You sound so great on the intro. I love it.
Because you are. Ooh, I love what you're doing. Love your vibe. And for those people out there that don't know what an energetics and sales trainer is, can you share what that is and how did you become one?
I love that. So an energetics and sales trainer. So what I love to incorporate is I've been on both sides of the spectrum of being fully go in the sales, working 12, 14-hour days and literally doing nothing but work. Which, of course, as a woman is not sustainable whatsoever.
No.
Like every few months I was literally getting sick. I was burning out. And that was just my life. And then I learned about energetics. I learned about belief systems. I learned about how to actually associate into my body, which I didn't recognize at the time. Being so caught up in the go, it can be tricky to actually be present with what is happening internally.
Yes.
And I learned and delved deep into the importance of everything that makes up who we are. So I based my work not only about the strategy of sales, but also about supporting our own health in a holistic way. I believe we have 4 bodies: spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. And how can we make sure that we are maintaining all of those pillars to be a high performer?
Oh, that's so yummy. Thank you for explaining that. It's so common in business owners, workers and business owners, that we get so caught up in our head. Tony Robbins says, in your head, you're dead. So I'd love to know, what was that pinnacle moment for you that was like, okay, this is not working for me. Enough is enough. Like, what was going through your mind then?
So I was one of those people that it took a little bit. Can't even think of the word, stubborn.
Yes.
Very stubborn to listening to the universe's calls.
Because you want to do it your way, right? Like when we're in this earlier stage, it's like, I'm doing it my way or the highway, and this is how I'm going.
Literally, like as an alpha boss bitch, like, of course, it's like, no, what I say, what my way goes.
Yes.
So it was a journey, like step by step, if I'm being honest, like things unraveled slowly. So when I actually first entered into sales, that was my first introduction to personal development. I never heard of personal development. I didn't know about meditation. I didn't know that we had belief systems that was literally running out day to day. Like I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Of course.
All I knew was what I grew up with. And I remember COVID hit in 2020.
Mm.
I think a lot of people can resonate with that being just like a fully game-changing time.
100%, the big C.
So, um, so yeah, when that hit, I lost my work and I started an online business, and it was in the holistic health space. My mind opened even deeper to what was possible, that I was seeing people who hadn't studied, hadn't worked, and they were earning, 10K months claiming they were working 10, 15-hour weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. I want to know how to do this.
Of course.
And through that community, I was introduced to an NLP training.
Love that.
And it wasn't until I went to that NLP training, and on one of the days we did holotropic breath work, and that was literally when my whole life changed.
Well, I don't explain what holotropic breath work is. I've not heard that term before.
So what we do is you literally breathe like in through the mouth, so you just literally keep doing that. So we were guided through this breath work, and then all of a sudden because I had no idea what was happening. I just fully trusted and surrendered. And I think maybe within 5 or 10 minutes, I just went somewhere else.
Yes.
And I was fully associated into this memory, which I know now to have been a past life experience that had, at some point in my life stopped me from being in my body. The pain of that experience was what was dissociating me my whole life.
Wow.
And I had no idea. I spent all of my life dissociated up until that moment where I was like, smack bang, put back straight into my body through that breath work. I remember the next day, after having a massive emotional release, walking back into the room, and I went up to one of the facilitators, and I was crunched over, and I was walking over. I was like, I don't know what is happening. I feel so tired. My body, I feel like I can't hold myself. I think there's something wrong. And she was like, there's nothing wrong. You're in your body.
How powerful.
And since then, it's been this journey of unraveling, learning how to regulate, process, and feel my emotions. And that is a whole journey in itself too, because the power that we're often looking for, or that connection that we're often looking for, is found in the depths of what we're repressing.
Gina, I love that you've shared that, because I don't know about you, but most people, I believe, are not taught to self-regulate their emotions. Or when we're growing up, we may have heard good girls don't cry, or good girls be quiet. And then we feel shame around that emotion, because it's like, oh, the adults are telling me not to feel sad or angry. And then we suppress that a lot. So part of this journey for you, for your exponential growth, was, I'm hearing, tap into your emotions and learn to self-regulate.
100%. So, you can imagine as someone, working in sales, working 12-hour days, going to be looking for a way to, blow off some steam.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I battled with addiction, substance and alcohol abuse, for many, many years. And it wasn't until I started my online business in 2020 in the health space that I actually decided that I wanted more for myself, recovered from addiction.
That's huge. That's huge. So the big C has hit. You've decided to be fucking brave and courageous and start your own online business from not having no business experience. That is a goal in itself, a win in itself. And then In the meantime, you've had this addiction. You've been working 12-hour days in your head, sick of fucking life. You're on the hamster wheel, working, lacking purpose. And then all of a sudden, and a drug addict. And then, boom, you've decided, you made the decision to be different. Can you talk a little bit about that decision?
100%. So I always felt growing up that I was meant for more. I just didn't know what that was. I knew that I didn't do well at school. I consistently had people telling me like, oh, you're not book smart, but you're like people smart. You're street smart. You know, like that's what people would tell me, or teachers would consistently say to me like, Samirah, what are you doing? Like you're hanging out with these people. You have so much potential, X, Y, and Z. But I didn't have a lot of confidence.
And you're like, what is this potential? What are you talking about? What is that thing?
Literally, I didn't see what they were seeing. I ended up, like, I knew I wasn't going to go to university. And I remember I was working in hospitality, and one of my old bosses said to me, I don't see you doing anything else but hospitality.
Wow.
And to me, that was like a big fuck you. I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's when I went into sales. So he was a blessing in disguise.
I love that. I love the way that you frame and you see that as a big fuck you. You did something about it. Share with us what your belief is around life, like life happening to us, life happening for us.
I truly believe that life is always happening for our highest good, whether we can recognize it or not.
What does that mean?
So I don't think life is happening to us. I truly believe that, I think we go through there's stages. I think we first go through life thinking that it's happening to us, that we're a victim, that it's out of our hands, that these things are happening in life and there's nothing that we can do about it. And I think that's like how 99% of the population are wired and have been programmed to be wired. And then as you go along the journey, and if you choose to evolve and you choose to grow and you choose to seek something different, you start to recognize, okay, hold on, I actually have a choice. And that's when you start to recognize that life is happening through you.
I love that. Because that's a big difference. It's such a big difference to recognize that all of a sudden, well, some people don't recognize until they die, right? They live this whole life without recognizing, and that's their journey. And there's such power in recognizing. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but when I first recognized that, it was like, what the fuck? It was a big slap in my face. Like, I'm responsible for my own life.
Literally. And that can be a scary thing too.
Yes.
And self-responsibility, it's not just being like, you know, because a lot of people, you know, things happen and it's painful. And it doesn't need to mean anything about your worth, or like, because there can be so much emotions attached to the things that have happened and why we may not want to take responsibility for it because we're protecting ourselves.
Yes.
But the truth is, until you take self-responsibility, you're consistently giving your power away to the outside world. Because what I love to say is that if you're the problem, if you can take responsibility for the things that are happening in your life, if you're the problem, it also means that you're the solution.
Whew. So I'm hoping and trusting that all the business owners that are listening, this applies to your business too.
100%. Because until you take self-responsibility and decide that you're the problem, then you're forever going to be waiting for a solution outside of you, and you're going to be waiting a long fucking time.
Right? Like, so waiting for the team to do their job properly, or waiting for a product company just to come land on your lap, or wishing and hoping business away that it will be what they want it to be without realizing it starts with them.
100%. Absolutely.
Oh, that's so powerful. I love your journey. So share with us a little bit about, like, it's coming up to Christmas time, and especially in sales, like there's going to be a lot of businesses that are like ramping up for Christmas, and then quite often in some businesses that it dies in January, February. And then some other businesses commonly, such as coaches and things like that, where they say December's dead, then they wait till the new year. So can you share your insight on as a collective, how we can make the most out of this time leading into the new year.
Oh, I love this question. So literally, I have been pondering this last couple of weeks now that we're in December and silly season, and I'm seeing two things.
Yes.
I'm seeing businesses slow down, getting ready for the holidays, getting ready for time off, and completely switching off and waiting till next year.
Hmm.
And then I'm seeing another side of business owners being like, make holidays great again. And they're fully ramping up and they're fully taking advantage of this time where people are going to be home, that people are going to feel more like this is an opportunity of like people wanting to reset. The new year is coming and they're going to be like, how can I freaking be the best that I can be coming into 2025? Like, why wait till 2025? Like, start now. And the difference is the mindset. It's the belief system. Is what are they choosing to focus on? Are they choosing to focus on, it's actually slow. People don't want to be picking up their phones. Like, people don't want to be talking at this time. They're too busy. They don't want a bar of it. And they're the people who are looking through that lens that are slowing down versus the people who are like, oh my gosh, people are ready to get going. They want to start now instead of waiting for the new year. The people that are looking through those lenses are the ones that are succeeding right now. And they're not waiting, because every single month can be the same if you choose it to be.
Yes, right? Like every single month can be the same if we choose it to be. And I don't know where it comes from, this belief that, as a hairdresser, as a hair salon owner, previously, it's like Christmas was our crazy time. And it wasn't until I was like, well, why can't every month be that busy? Like, and then we started to put things in place. So what could you suggest to those people? Congratulations to the people with the belief that are all ramping up for 2025 now. What can you suggest to those people that perhaps are feeling really burnt out? They've got the belief that this is they're looking forward to their quiet time. They want 2025 to be successful, but they don't have the mindset tools in their toolkit to gain momentum now. What advice could you give them?
Well, for one, if you don't have a mentor, definitely get a mentor. Like, if you are struggling with time right now, why are you trying to figure it out yourself? Why not have someone who can teach you and give you the roadmap of what you get to do step by step? Someone that you can brainstorm with, collaborate with, and get it moving is for one. So get a mentor. And if you're waiting for the holidays, what can you do today and every other day to ensure that you are filling up your own cup? Because what if burnout wasn't because of the workload, but because your emotional needs aren't being met? So how can you make sure that you are meeting your needs every single day so you don't have to wait for a holiday? So you have the energy and the flow every single day.
Because it is possible. It is possible, right? It's not just a waiting for the weekend mentality or waiting for 10 years and then I'll be happy. It's so often when I talk to business owners that they mistake having their state and goal as the same thing. So it's I'll be happy when, I'll be excited when. We can choose that in the now. Like we'll have a goal, might lose 10 kilos later on, or might make $1 million later on. But being in state, you can do now and every day if you choose to.
100%. Because the truth is, if you can't appreciate what you have now, you're not going to appreciate what you're going to have later on.
Oh, that's a big ouch. I know there's going to be some listeners that are like, and I felt that. And, I've hovered my finger around the bankruptcy button around 4 times in my life. And I'm so grateful to have had a mentor to be like, Dana, snap out of it. What can you be grateful for now? And that was so fucking hard in those moments of feeling like in our 3D world, desperate and, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything, to, okay, I'm going to write down I'm grateful for my toothbrush. Like I started small, right?
That's all it takes too, because I think the world that we're living in right now, it's so, so different. Like in the world of social media, we're looking at people's highlight reels. It looks like things are happening so quickly, like that people's wins are happening so fast overnight. Like we're seeing overnight successes, but it's like, is it really overnight?
Most of the time it's not, is it?
Exactly. And it's like when you're going through the hardships and you want to throw in the towel, what if that didn't need to be a scary point in time where everything is crumbling and the world is ending? Could it be fuck yes, I'm at the brink of another level right now.
I love that. And I love the saying, you're only one breakdown away from a breakthrough.
Oh.
It's like, okay, is this going to be, what was Colonel Sanders? He was like, what, in his 40s or 50s, knocking on doors, and he got rejected over and over and over again. And it wasn't until later in his life, I think he was considering to kill himself as well, until he came up with a chicken recipe that changed his life and the world's life. So I love that you've said that, because quite often, I think I was reading a story today about the founder of Canva. She got rejected 100 times. Now imagine if she had given up. We wouldn't have had this amazing technology in the way that she's been able to deliver it. So I love that you've shared that. And it ties in with one of your beliefs that you have shared with me previously. And that is that we are the creator of our own lives. So I'd love for you to share some insight on that.
So it's also like it's delving into what we spoke about earlier with self-responsibility. So we are the creators of our reality. And what I mean by that is that we are literally like a computer program. Like our belief systems, the way we perceive the world is all based on our programming. And every single one of us has different sorts of programming that's based off how we grew up, how we were raised, our environment.
Can you share a little bit more about that? Because some of our listeners might not understand the terms of reprogramming or what a program is.
So let's say as a child, you did a painting and you were so proud of it. You absolutely loved it. You came home, you wanted to show your mum and dad this painting. They're on the phone. You don't exactly have, the awareness as a young child that, how life goes. And they say, hold on just a moment. I'm on the phone. Can you show me later? In that moment, you may have felt the rejection, the hurt, and you could have made that mean in that moment that you're not good enough to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes a belief system over time because we consistently reaffirm it to ourselves as we grow up. So we then have this filter and this program of I'm not good enough to be seen. So pretty unconsciously, because we are only conscious of 5 to 10% of our own thoughts.
Which is crazy. Whole life, like literally only aware of what we're doing 5 to 10% of the time.
Literally. So then we unconsciously create situations in our day-to-day that prove that belief system to be true. And when I say unconsciously, it's like autopilot. So, when you're like driving home and you have no recall of how you even got home, you're like, what the where was I? That's autopilot. And we have a set of belief systems that run on autopilot, just like how you drive home. And I wonder what would happen if you began to cultivate presence in your day-to-day and actually start to question why it is that you do what you do. Why is it that you think the way that you think? And you start to become aware of what these unconscious programs are that you're driving.
I love that you said that. And before you move forward, I just want to share a story that I heard, a metaphor that I heard recently. Have you heard this? Where a lady is cooking a leg of lamb with her friend in the kitchen.
Yes.
So she's cooking a leg of lamb with her friend in the kitchen, and she literally chops off a quarter of it and chucks it in the bin. And her friend said, why do you do that? She's like, that's how you cook roast lamb. And she puts it in the oven, and the friend's like, that's pretty fucking weird. Like, you don't do that. It's such a waste. So the cook, the lady, she called her mum and she said, Mum, why do we cut that off? That's how we've always done it. And she said that in the war, the nana had actually not enough room in the oven to cook it, so they had to chop it off, and that's been passed down in generations. So unconsciously, she didn't have even an awareness that that's not how you cook roast lamb. And it's like you said, I'm so curious to know what are the other patterns in life that we're playing at that we're totally unaware of.
Literally. It's so crazy. It's like, and until you actually question it, because most people, and it's so funny, like even in sales, like if someone was to say give you a reason for something, whether it's like, someone could say to you, I'm not really interested in this. And you literally ask them why.
Yes.
Most of the time they won't have an answer. It's just an automatic response of when someone sees a salesperson, they're going to be like, I'm not interested.
Mm.
So it's like putting those pattern interrupts in place because they're just all automatic responses. That's an unconscious program.
I love that. And as a salesperson, if you're not aware of that, you could be like, okay, rejection or objection, and then step back, as opposed to getting feedback, leaning forward and really being curious about finding a solution for this person.
Exactly. And if you're, as a salesperson, unaware of your like unconscious belief systems, you're going to allow that story of when someone rejects you to reaffirm your own belief of I'm not good enough. So it's why it's important for salespeople to understand how we also operate as human beings. So not only can you get really effective at communicating with other people, but also making sure that that fear of rejection or that fear of failure, all of those things that can play out in business can be dissipated, or you can learn how to navigate through them better instead of it, completely chucking you out of the game completely.
Yes, and it's so important, not only, like, we're all salespeople, right? We're salespeople, our team are salespeople. Everything is sales. Everything is sales. So I'd love to know, like, when businesses are marketing themselves, is that sales? How is it sales? How can people show up as more of attracting their dream client with sales?
So all I believe sales is change.
Yes.
You're offering someone the opportunity to change what they're doing.
Love that.
And ideally, it's going to be best that you actually love and are passionate about the service that you're providing, or it's going to be a bit tricky, like, let's be honest.
What can you suggest to people that have been bombarded with their unconscious? They're getting all these blocks because they've had rejection. And how do you know the difference between having a fear and still being passionate, or just not liking it?
So you just simply ask, what's the first answer? Do I love this? Yes or no? What's the first answer? The first answer is like you. Anything that comes like 0.5 of a second after that is your ego trying to protect you to stop you.
And our ego lives in the unconscious, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it comes out.
100%. Like, we know people can pretend all they want that they don't, but we know at the end of the day what's right for us and what's not. We just pretend we don't.
Oh, there's another responsibility piece in here, isn't there? Wow. I love the simplicity of your answer, because it's so true. Sometimes we're searching for this complex thing outside of us, not taking responsibility. What if I make the wrong mistake? Oh, the wrong decision, it will be a mistake. I'll be a failure even more then. And I love that you've just, again, it's about taking responsibility of, what do I actually want? What do I actually think? And then moving from there.
100%.
Oh, Samirah, you are a world full of knowledge. I'd love to know, you mentioned before in the advice that you were giving, it's really important to have a mentor. What's your experience been with mentors?
So if I actually go back and reflect on my life, I have always had a mentor in some way, shape, or form. Whether that was, it might not have been a paid mentor, but there would have been people around me that I was looking up to and really valued their opinion on. And I think everyone has those people in their life. And the question is, are those people where you want to be? So at the end of the day, we all have mentors. We all have people that we value their opinion. And it's important to make sure that they are where we want to be. Otherwise, it's going to stop us. So how do we take self-responsibility for that? We actively make sure that we look and choose for a mentor.
I love that. I love that. And what would you say to those people that kind of have a fear of paying for a mentor? Like, have you ever had that? Like, it's a scary feeling to be. I certainly have. I was like, that's one of the shit in the pants moments. It's like, oh, what do you have?
I think, it's like it's going to happen. Like there's going to be moments where we're going to experience fear, where we may not want to do it. Like we're going to feel that in life regardless. So why not put ourselves into situations where we experience it, but we know that it's for a purpose. We know that we're choosing it. And as long as we're reminding ourselves of we're doing this for us, we're doing this for ourselves, we're doing this for our future, we're doing this for our kids, we're doing this for our legacy, whatever it is that you're doing it for, reminding yourself as to why you are doing it. Anchoring yourself into that.
And that's such an important piece. Yes, that's such an important piece, is knowing your vision, know what you fucking want. Because quite often, I don't know if you've experienced this, I notice business owners, they know what they don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want a team that doesn't do what they want. They haven't really sat into their vision. And until we have that North Star and vision, like we're going to be driving around aimlessly, not knowing how to navigate ourselves. So I love that you've just said that. Know what you want, and then do the things you need to get there. Even when it feels scary.
Because it can be scary, right? Of paying that up front. And that's totally okay. But have you sat with the cost of if you didn't invest?
And that's another big ouch moment, isn't it? And you can only get yourself to a certain point of the information that you know. Like, it's okay to ask for help. Like,
yes.
People perceive that as such a weakness, and it's such a strength.
100%. I think anything that we have been taught, do the opposite. If they say that fucking asking for help and being vulnerable is weak, do it more.
100%.
Where your power is. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be great at sales, if you want to be great at business, starters, if you want to be great at business, you got to be great at sales. How do you be great at sales? By asking for what you want, for asking for the sale, for asking for help, and allowing yourself to receive that support so you can receive the abundance that it is that you are desiring inside of your business.
That's a big piece to it, isn't it? Allowing ourselves to receive. And, I'm sure that 99% of our listeners are givers, that giving, and they logically know they want more money, but they're not allowing their energy to receive. That how do you start that process of being okay to receive?
Well, it begins by asking yourself with, how come I don't allow myself to? And most people probably don't realize that they aren't allowing themselves to receive.
No.
So it would begin by asking, how do I believe success is attained? Most people are going to say it's by working hard.
Yes.
And, it can be hard, but it doesn't need to be hard as in like grinding yourself, working 12, 14-hour days. It can be hard in the sense of like getting out of your comfort zone, out of actually facing yourself, of asking for help, doing the things that you don't feel like doing.
That's the hardest work. That's the hardest work, the inner work. And it's, again, we're waiting for the external. I'll work hard, 80 hours. And then they get to a point where it's like, well, this isn't working. What do I do? And I love that you've just shared that, because I know that everyone who's listening could resonate with that.
And it's a journey. Like life is a journey. We're consistently going to be growing. We're consistently going to be stripping back the layers, learning ourselves on a whole new level, on a deeper level. And, it's never going to stop. But the more that you delve into the journey and the more that you meet more of yourself, the more abundance you feel on the other side. And it becomes, you don't want to stop when you get to experience more of you, because then it allows you to experience more of others and more that life gets to offer.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Samirah. And I'd love to know, do you have any final pieces of advice for our audience to have their best 2025 ever in their business?
I think it's remembering that you're worthy as who you are right now. And there's nothing that you need to fix about you, because who you are is always perfect, whole, and complete. It's, what can I do every single day to get the best out of myself? And how can I start to build a relationship with myself? because your business will be a reflection of you. Your team is going to be a reflection of you. Anything that you don't like right now inside of your business, inside of your team, is a reflection of what you don't like about yourself. So start building that intimate relationship with you. Start to learn how to love those pieces that you might not like right now. And that's where change and the things that you're desiring really begins.
Thank you so much. We are so honored. I am so honored to have you as our special guest for the Energetic Business Pulse podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wise words. And I want to acknowledge you for all the amazing work that you're doing in the community, creating your own community as well. You are making such a difference in the lives of others, and you really are living your vision. So thank you so much for walking the walk and talking the talk. Now, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to episode 2 of the Energetic Business Pulse podcast. If you have resonated with this episode, if you've liked what you've heard, please feel free to share it to friends. Remember to subscribe, and please find our latest blog, which will be featuring Samirah and how you can find her. If you would like to work with her, if you are called to work with her, if you want to have a chat with her, how you can elevate your business through sales and energetics, visit www.danakovacic.com, and we'll be sharing that information in a blog. So thank you so much, and remember, your business has a pulse and so do you.